Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for visiting with me today.
Oh, thanks for asking me.
Um, I got to start by asking, what is the one of the biggest misconceptions about your job?
Um, God, that's a really good question. That it's all, I tell you what, I get it all the time. Oh, you must go to so many parties. And so, so you must go to so many parties and premieres, and it must be so, you must meet so many celebrities. I never meet celebrities, ever. In fact, that's as a casting director, you never meet the really really famous people because you don't audition the famous people. You audition the people. There's, as you probably all know, that to get a movie made, for example, you offer to, like, whoever, Helen Mirren, Jude Law, and then you start auditioning the characters below that. So you never meet, you don't really meet the celebrities. Not that I really care. I love meeting all people from all walks of life, but
Of
that's
course.
that's probably the biggest misconception.
Ah, well, that actually kind of leads into my next question. How much say or influence or input does someone, say in the case of Ted Lasso, like Jason Sudeikis, have when casting some of the bigger supporting players?
Jason watches every tape and he has the final say on everything. But it's a real group. It is a group decision. We share tapes with all the producers, and we watch and we sort of whittle it down to a group, and then Jason will chat to everyone and say he's the one or she's the one. Um, but yeah, he's got a very very big say in everything, and he watches everything.
Uh-huh. Well, this really does seem like his baby, and it's wonderful. It's like one of my favorite shows. I just
Oh, good.
adore this show. I'm working my way through a second time right now. Um,
It's such an easy watch, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, it really is. And then the way it evolves, it's so organic. It's just really, uh, it's real. It's just as real as TV can get. Now, I'm curious. Here's another good one, I think, for you. When you know. Describe that moment of a perfect audition.
Probably. I mean, on a lot of these guys, they all did a really perfect audition. Oh, I mean, Ellie Taylor, Sassy, she did one of the best auditions I've ever seen. Honestly, she just nailed it. She was really, really fantastic. But um, I was talking about this earlier about Nate, Nick Mohammed. I always wanted it to be Nick Mohammed play Nate. And he actually passed because he was really busy. He didn't think he was going to have time to do it because he was in the he just finished filming his own show, Intelligence. And then straight off the back of that, he'd have to go into the edit of Intelligence. And so he was like, I'm never going to see my family. I can't be shooting one show and then editing another. So I'm going to pass. I love the sound of it, but I'm going to pass. Anyway, we went back to him, begged him, said, please redo it. We saw a whole load of other people who, in fact, all of them were great, but it just had to be Nick. And then he did this. He didn't even have time. He was on set on Intelligence and he did one scene on his iPhone in his trailer, I think. And it was perfection. And I showed it to everybody and everyone said, that's Nate. That is Nate. So when you know, you know.
Yeah, Nate the Great.
And thank goodness he changed his mind because he's so perfect.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't imagine this show without him. Well, I mean, that's the thing. As somebody who's taken screenwriting classes, they say that when you're writing, every character should be able to have their own movie or their own TV show. When you're casting uh, something, I mean, do you look for an actor that could bring a character to life to the point where they could carry something on their own?
Definitely. You want really great actors with range in even the smallest role. And I'm quite strict about that, about selecting actors who can do it all, because you know, and in the case of, especially in the case of Ted Lasso, you know, we're bringing people back from last season. We're currently casting season 2, and we're bringing people back that had tiny roles in season 1, and they're going to have much more to do in season 2. And thank God we know that they can do it, and they're really good actors. So yeah, even in the small roles, we'll try and get people who can really, really do it.
Now, time for a few specific part questions. Was it always a given that Coach Beard would have to have a beard?
I don't know. I don't know. You'll have to ask Jason and Brendan. I don't know.
That seems a bit of an inside joke that will bear fruit someday on the show. But right now, it's just kind of hanging there, waiting to be picked. I was thinking it's a funny correlation when you're casting Jamie Tart. I remember of all people, Suzanne Summers famously talked about playing Chrissy on Three's Company. That's the most enormous challenge because she's not playing stupid. She's playing clueless, and the intelligence it takes to play that effectively and not come off as just aloof. How does one cast that part?
Well, that's interesting you said that, because when we were casting the Jamie Tart role, he was actually in the conception of it, he was actually, that character was called Danny Rojas, and Danny Rojas was from South America, and he was the star player. He was the arrogant star player. And so we searched far and wide for a Latino actor who could play that role and not do an accent and just be themselves. And it was really difficult. We looked in America, we looked in Europe, we looked everywhere, and no one quite got it. But then I brought Phil Dunster in because he's so smart and funny, and he just played himself. And they all decided that they would then reverse it and make the new player Danny Rojas, who was happy and smiley and charming, and he would be Jamie Tart, just from Manchester. So we molded the role to suit the actor on both sides, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
because we saw in the Danny Rojas search, we found this actor Cristo Fernandez who did this amazing tape, but he wasn't arrogant and he wasn't, you know, the Jamie Tart person at all, and they changed a role to suit him because they wanted to cast him so much.
Wow. Well, I'm.
But isn't Phil Dunster, going back to Phil Dunster, that's really interesting that you said that, because he is so smart, and it takes a really smart person to nail the timing of that stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I had to be like 8 or 9 years old, but I'll never forget the Suzanne Summers, interview and her saying that, and that just stuck with me. That that she's not the dumb blonde. That there's so much more going on there. There has to be, or it doesn't work.
Yeah, he's very clever, Phil. Very clever.
Now, what for you screamed Rebecca? When you're looking for Rebecca, that Miss Waddingham. I can't imagine anyone else playing the part after seeing her.
I can't either. I mean, she's so perfect, isn't she?
Yeah.
It was difficult. I tell you, to be honest, it was difficult casting Rebecca, because we weren't getting it. We saw a lot of people, and we weren't quite getting it. But all of the people we sort of whittled it down to, they could have done it, but it would have been totally different. But Hannah is that character. You're right.
Yeah. And what about Juno? I mean, she kind of comes in like a bit of a hurricane. We first meet her, she walks into the locker room and she's disappointed that the boys are all dressed. Yeah. And then by the end of the season, she's running marketing. And talk about a character again that you don't want to judge a book by its cover. What was it about Juno that you thought that she could really just, capture that?
again, she's really smart. She's so talented, Juno, but also really likable. And that was what was really important about Keeley. She had to be really, really likable. She just, you know, above everything, really. And how perfect is Juno? How lucky were we to get Juno?
Right.
How lucky. Yeah.
Well, even just
out of reach for us because she's such an amazing film star. But something spoke to her in this, and she said yes. How lucky.
oh well, and I can't wait to watch her and Rebecca as their relationship evolves.
Yeah.
A couple of
well together. The chemistry is just fantastic.
yeah, there are going to be a couple of firecrackers. I got a feeling. In a traditionally male-dominated sport, it's really fantastic to see. That part to me is almost almost the best part and the most important part of the show. Well, thank you, Ms. Park. It was a real pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, thank you for asking me. It's so nice. I'm just so glad that so many people like it.
Oh, yeah. We love it. Can't get enough. And congrats on all the great work you do. And look forward to seeing you for season 2.
Yeah, not long now.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Well, have a good rest of your day.
Okay, you take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.